Yahaya Bello was beating blue-black in front of Natasha house. Nobody ever expected it. I will play the full clip in this very video. You will see things the way they go. You will see the way they actually search Yahaya Bello on ground and all of that. It was few days ago that Natasha came out and she made the uproar that they wanted to launch attack on her and all of that. But it was few days after that another uproar came out that Natasha native house, Natasha family house was attacked. Now, Kasala burst few hours ago. Everybody were pointing finger at AKPABIO before and all of that. But come and see what is going on. Come and see the drama that actually unfolded. I'll play the full video. You see things the way it goes. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just go to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it. Like the video. Give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'll come back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should believe the fight for Muhammad.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just do all to click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. It was few days ago, or let me say few hours ago, that Natasha family house was attacked by unknown gunmen and all of that, and a lot of people call these people unknown gunmen, but people were pointing finger at AKPABIO that it was AKPABIO that actually orchestrated it, because they believe it was AKPABIO that Natasha actually said that she's planning all these things. It was the same AKPABIO that withdrew the security of Natasha and all of that. They said there is the reason why AKPABIO actually withdrew the security of Natasha. It was because he wanted to launch attack on her and all of that. Now, a lot of people actually supported AKPABIO. They said AKPABIO might not know anything about it, but the truth of the matter is finally out. Yahaya Bello was dragged on the ground in the front of Natasha. You will see it for yourself in this very video. You will see things the way it goes. Now, so I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. You can share the video as you're watching it. Just do what to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let a lot of people get to know what is happening as far as Natasha case is concerned. And if you can share it, just like the video. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. This is where the issue actually emanated from. Natasha came back from outside Nigeria, where she went to lay complaint about AKPABIO in the international communities and all of that, in UN, US Congress and all of that. When Natasha came back, she flew down to KOGI state in copter, and when she arrived in the shopper, the people accepted her, and Natasha made an allegation on Yahaya Bello, AKPABIO and Ododo, the sitting governor of KOGI state. She said AKPABIO was trying to prove her that AKPABIO wanted to take her life, and AKPABIO wanted to use Ododo, but Ododo said it can't be possible based on one or two. Then AKPABIO decided to use Yahaya Bello. Those are what Natasha actually alleged. This is not my own personal word. Natasha said everything herself. Now, let me play the full video. Then everything that Natasha said, everything is finally played out. They said they really wanted to prove her. You see things for yourself. Then when I come back, I will play you the full video of where Yahaya Bello was dragged on ground, disgraced. Did not even know that he's the immediate past governor of KOGI state. You see things for yourself. Just stay connected. If you can share the video, share. If you can share it, like it. I'll come back again.
On the 14th of March at 10:30 p.m. Mind you, 2 days before that, which was on the 12th, AKPABIO had called Governor Ododo on the phone that he should commence my recall. But Governor Ododo told him it would be impossible. No, hold on. This was what Governor Ododo said on the 12th. Listen. He said, on the 12th of March, AKPABIO spoke to Governor Ododo to recall me, but he told him to be impossible because the masses are with her, the people are with her. But AKPABIO was not satisfied. He then sent for Yahaya Bello, and it was actually Senator Asukwo from Cross River that drove Yahaya Bello from Hilton Hotel. I was informed of everything. And when I got to know, hold on, the meetings was in two folds. He told him to commence my recall, and that he was going to fund it. Of course, money's changed hands that night. The second thing he told him was that he should try and kill me. I didn't make this public, but I wrote to the IG of police. And AKPABIO told Yahaya Bello, I am saying sorry about what I've said. He told him that he should make sure that killing me does not happen in Abuja. It should be done here. So it will seem as if it's the people that killed me here. I didn't make that public, but we did notify the security agencies of that. And he called a number of people in the cabinet, questioned them. How come that project found its way here? And he said, in his words, he said, how can such resources, gas from the Niger Delta, be moved to the north? That he will stop it. And I will prove to you what he did. After the Senate President removed me, by the way, it is because of the 5 LNG projects that AKPABIO removed me from the Committee of Local Content. Because he said, ever since he made me as the chairperson of Local Content, I have used that office to promote the North. That was what he said.
You can see things the way everything is actually going. You can see that Natasha actually alleged all these things herself the moment she arrived in Nigeria. She said she had an informant that is not even a single informant. She said she had varieties of informants that is taking information from AKPABIO and all of that. And according to Natasha, these people are very close to AKPABIO, but he can never know that they taking information from him and giving to Natasha. Now, Natasha said everything that AKPABIO is planning, that she's aware of it, how they wanted to use Ododo to recall her, and how Ododo said because of 1 or 2 they cannot recall her because the people were standing by her, and how AKPABIO actually planned to use Yahaya Bello to actually recall her, and they tried the recall process but it failed. Now the people that they actually used to try the recall process, all of them actually failed because the 250,000 signatures that they mobilized in less than 2 days, where did it come from? Those are the questions that KOGI people were asking. Now on the same vein, according to Natasha, when they tried to recall her and didn't work, they tried to poof her. Now let me play you a video. You will see what KOGI people actually said in short clip. Then after the video, you will see how Yahaya Bello was disgraced. Just stay connected. If you can share the video, share it. If you can share, just like it. I just wanted to understand everything the way it goes. I'm coming back.
The recall process of our distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduagam, I think, is an arrangement between people who do not mean well for the people of Kogi Central. She has not done anything to us. There is nothing the federal government has given to her to give us that she has not given to us. We don't have issues with her personally. The issue with the Senate President shouldn't bother us at all. So it is just some greedy elements who has lost touch with the reality on ground that wants to recall her.
But did you sign the recall? Did you sign it?
Nobody visited my polling unit to ask for our signature for the recall of our senator. We are waiting for the people who forged our signature to come, if INEC deem it fit, to come and verify those forged signatures. We shall arrest some people who forged our signature. We've already submitted the petition to the police, informing the police that people forged our signature for the recall of Natasha. So we are waiting for INEC to come, so we will show INEC that these signatures are not our signatures.
So in essence, you didn't sign any petition?
Nobody visited the polling unit. Talk more of signing the recall process of Natasha. Nobody. Our polling units were empty that day.
What's your name?
Who were the 250 people that signed the recall process?
You can see everything that this guy actually said in this very video. First of all, let me play you the video of how Yahaya Bello was disgraced. But before the video, you will see things for yourself. Now, let me point your attention to something. Do you know that Natasha actually emerged as the sitting senator of Kogi Central with 54,073 votes? Now, she campaigned for many months before she can get that 54,073 votes. And you can see the number of people that actually welcome her in her homecoming and all of that. And after they welcome her, you can see the multitude that actually welcome her. Now, she got 54,073 votes for more than many months of campaign. Now, how did they get 250,000 votes that actually wanted to recall her within 2 days? Where on earth is this happening? Those are the questions that Nigerians are asking. They are not answering the questions that Nigerians are asking. Nigerians are asking where they got the 250,000 votes. Now, even the people of the constituency of Natasha, they said the 2 days that they said they got 250,000 votes for the recall of Natasha, they said they did not see anybody in the polling unit, because before you can recall a senator, everybody that don't want her needs to come to the polling unit where they voted for her, and they need to vote her out. That's the law, that's the constitution. But the people of Kogi Central said they did not see anybody in any polling unit. Now, who are the people that actually try to recall her, and where are they from? Those are the questions they're asking. Is the population of Kogi Central itself up to 250,000? Those are the questions that people are asking. And the video circulated where we saw some people in different rooms trying to paint ballot paper just to recall Natasha, but yet those people are not being investigated till now, because those people, according to the report, the one that is behind the recall process, and those are what is happening now. Let me play you what actually happened to Yahaya Bello. But before you see the video, this is the lawyer of Natasha. Hear everything that he said, and during the video you will see things for yourself. You will see how Yahaya Bello was disgraced. They did not even care. Maybe this guy is the immediate past governor of Kogi State. You see things for yourself. If you can share the video, share. If you can share, just like it. Stay connected. I'll come back again.
It has been in the news, like you said, about the recall. If you heard the young lady that spoke, she said she's from consigned Kogi youth and women. I don't know what that is. I am the lawyer. I'm one of the lawyers to Natasha, and we've been interrogating the process. We know what the recall process is under the Constitution, Section 69, and the INEC guidelines. She said she's representing Kogi youths and women. I don't know what that is. The persons who have the legal right to recall is our constituency. In this case, Kogi Central. She has not been able to tell us if she belongs to the 5 local governments that constitute Kogi Central. Now, she has not told us who are those people who voted. Are they the registered voters? In the process of recall under the INEC rules and regulation, the names of the person who should sign for the petition should be polling unit by polling unit. Question is, when were those persons, where were those signatures collected out of the over 800 polling unit, within the over 1,200 polling unit within the 5 local governments that made up Kogi Central? And we've seen social media reports, which we are looking at to see where we noticed and we saw some group of persons inside one room trying to write names, and I think that is what they have just done and brought up to say that they have gotten 250,000 names. We have personally written to the chairman of INEC complaining of allegation of forgery against the said petition. Now, INEC has the constitutional right under Section 69 to verify the signatures in that petition. However, as person who is concerned about the rumor and the stories connecting the signature that they have received, as a citizen, as somebody who is concerned about the process shouldn't be fraudulent. When you see people sitting somewhere writing names, putting signatures, that is a clear case of forgery. So it is duty for me to notify INEC, and so we'll take it further. We are going to, by tomorrow, we will send the petition to the Commissioner of Police, Kogi State, to verify, to investigate how those, because that is because the issue of forgery is a crime, and it is duty of the police to investigate crime, while INEC has their constitutional duty to verify those petitions as provided under Section 69. So if you look at it, it looks as if there is a script somewhere, and like I said in one of these programs, it's a melodrama. And I want to see how it plays out. But one thing we are sure of, that this process cannot be completed.
Let us, take a look at, because we did hear, these are some of the videos that made the round, some amateur videos that made the round on, social media, alleging that some empowerment process had started under the guise of, the recall process had started under the guise of empowerment. But it did appear that some of the, the citizens were aware that this was what was going on, and then you could hear their voices in the background saying things like they were speaking their own traditional language. I didn't understand what was being said, but it did appear that there were concerns that this was what was happening under the guise. If indeed there is a recall process, aren't the citizens supposed to be clearly aware of what is transpiring? Are they supposed to be, because you have talked about forgery, but if indeed it happens that, people were being given empowerment and they were asked to sign in a particular place and it is indeed their signatures, but they were not aware of what it was that they were signing for, doesn't that make the process null and void?
That is a very good question, and that is one of the concerns we have. Now, the first part is that, like you said, the process of recall must be a process that the registered voters are aware and conscious that they are going to recall their member. It must not be in any form of deceit. They must be aware, they must be conscious, they must be noticed to that effect, and they must have volunteered themselves to go through the process. We've not heard of any town hall meetings that were held that the persons, the constituents, the unit said, we have to recall these persons. All we just heard was that, some people were in the queue. We were seeing videos of people standing in the queue. Thereafter, they were now saying that, they told us we're coming there for an empowerment. And what we now got to, they told us when we pick up, we put our voters' name and all of that, and we signed. Like you said, let us assuming that was what happened, that they were brought into a particular place for the purpose of empowerment, and they now discovered that it was for recall. That itself is deceit. But you see, it is one of these things. They just brought that process for you to see that, the recall process has started. We need to see it in every unit. Under the INEC guidelines, each of those names of the registered voters must be from polling unit to polling unit.
It cannot be done in
one. It cannot just be done in one hall and people, no. The names must be arranged polling unit to polling unit because votes are done in polling units.
It's a very interesting scenario, but this is the situation now. INEC has now received the petition. What should happen next?
Good question. Before then, there was a court. We went to court in KOGI State, in the State High Court, where we got an ex parte order restraining INEC from receiving such petition. However, yesterday we got wind of the information that whether they went to court, to set aside that order. But the first part we need to understand was that INEC received that petition while the court order was still subsisting. INEC was served with the court order, with ex parte order, restraining them from receiving the petition. That is, by the way. The second part is that there is a subsisting case in court, which INEC is a party.
What was the case?
The case of suing INEC, restraining, which we got an order restraining INEC from receiving the petition, since the constituents against INEC, not Natasha now. Some of the members, the registered members of that constituency say, no, don't receive this petition. We've not agreed to recall her. And that is the case that is subsisting, which INEC is the party. So the point I'm making, therefore, is that when there is a case in court, INEC cannot take any step until that case is determined. Because when a case is instituted, parties are expected by law to maintain status quo. So having received the petition, INEC cannot go ahead to start acting on it until the case in court is dealt with.
Well, Mr. Victor Giwa, we certainly will keep tabs with you, around this development, because we do know that this is a developing story. In the meantime, we also know that Senator Natasha has, issued a statement saying that she would not be forced to apologize, and that any, conversation happening around or any statement anyone sees, purporting that she has apologized should be ignored.
Yes.
So I just want to know, do we have any further updates with what is happening in the Senate with regards to her petition?
Well, from the information we are getting, the Senate seems right now to be thinking about, okay, let us really look at that allegation. Because our position has been that, look, There is an allegation against the Senate President. She has a right to be heard, and that the Senate President should step aside and allow investigation to take place. Whether or not the stories are correct, the committee will look at it and come out with a report. But you cannot be presiding over a process that you yourself have been alleged. And that is the point we are making, that it must be dispassionate, it must be impartial, and she must be given a fair process. And that is what we have been saying. So we are looking up to the Senate, to look at the issue, bring all the parties, interview them, do your investigation, and come out with a result.
So the Senate has not yet given word on when the petition will be heard?
Yeah, the Senate, we've not heard anything from the Senate right now. However, we're also in court too. Of course, there was a court order restraining the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privilege, and Public Petition from going ahead with taking any measures on the issue of our actions in the Senate. But the Senate went ahead and suspended her. That's part of that subject matter is still before the Federal High Court, before Justice Oguta. And so there are a lot of potpourri of issues. I don't know how the Senate want to go around it, but it is left for them to handle.
When has the case been slated to be heard?
Yeah, I think the case has been adjourned to 23rd of April.
23rd of April.
Yeah, by next month, yeah.
Okay. It's interesting that KOGI has been, because the only time that we have also heard of a recall, even though we know that it is in the Constitution, the only time that we have heard of a recall process too was about a senator in KOGI state. It is interesting that it tends to, be the state or the area that always wants to test this area
of law.
Yes, and I find it quite interesting. How do you think that this process will eventually play out from your own projections?
In as much as I'm concerned, there have not been any sources in terms of a member or a senator recall in our history.
Yes, and I remember very clearly there was something that Senator Ike Ekweremadu did say at that time, when I think it was Senator Dino Melai who was involved in that particular situation. He said, and a lot of Nigerians took him to the cleaners when he said what he said, that the law has been structured in such a way that it is almost impossible to recall a senator. And perhaps this case actually makes it clear as to why that was done. Because after a senator has been elected, it should be a bit difficult. People must really be very clear as to what they really want, and it shouldn't just be anybody being able to instigate this. And we know just how powerful governors too can be in matters like this. So, from what you see, do you think that hurdle will remain for members of KOGI Central Senatorial District?
The truth of the matter is, there is no way the recall process can go through except it is done fraudulently. And like that was Senator Ekweremadu that you were quoting, the former Senate Deputy
Senate President. You remember, right?
Yes, of course I remember. And the reason is this. As a matter of fact, if you look at Section 69, it looks a bit easier. But you need to now go and look at INEC guidelines and regulation about recall. It is 15 stages, part of which is you have to take those signatories, INEC have to verify. You have to conduct a referendum. You have to appoint verification officers to go to each of the polling units. You have to collate them, send it to the REC. It is a tortuous process. So it is not something like he said in his words. It's something that is visually impossible to be done. If it has to be done, it has to be done fraudulently, like what they are doing, going somewhere, putting votes together, and coming up to say, that you are going to have that vote. It is going to be very, very impossible. And the reason is this: it is because when you vote it is tenured. When you vote for your senator and for a term of 4 years, it is expected that if you know that you have lost confidence in him or her, you should allow his tenure to end, so that next time you don't vote him again, because you have a period of 4 terms. So they don't expect you that you should now start looking for ways. And in this case, like you mentioned, the lady that led that protest, she's the senior special assistant to the governor of KOGI State on women and youth. So the question you will now ask yourself is, you will now see that it is government-sponsored recall.
The
Charity Ijese Omole, she is currently the senior special assistant to the governor of KOGI State on youth and women affairs. So you just made allusion to, you can see that it is more or less government sponsoring this process, not the constituent, and that fundamentally has faulted the process, because the process of recall must be such that is initiated from the constituent. But in this case, like we can see the handwriting on the wall, this is the governor that is trying to do whatever they claim they are doing.
Let me bring in my colleague Ayo, because I understand he also wants to ask a question. Ayo.
Well, first of all, Mr. Giwa, is she senior special assistant or special advisor? Because we hear that someone was indicating that maybe she's even been promoted, so she wants to validate her promotion. I don't know if you can confirm that.
Yes, she was special assistant. Then she was promoted about a week ago, and so maybe she wants to justify her promotion, and that's why she's. I'm even querying the fact that whether she's even from the constituent of she's from KOGI Central. We are still querying that part if she's actually from KOGI Central. But what I can establish is that she was promoted from SA to SSA just about a week or two ago.
Now, Mr. Giwa, there is an issue that started this whole conversation before the indictments of the president of the Senate came up. The fact that the rules of the Senate were the rules, the fact that so many people, in the Senate discussed the issue, and it just wouldn't go anywhere. As far as the Senate is concerned, they have rules that the distinguished senator was unfortunately unable to abide by. It was discussed on the floor of the Senate. Everyone saw that conversation, and the fact that even the ethics committee to which the Senate sent the report said, look, this is dead on arrival because he hadn't gone through it hadn't gone through the normal route. As a lawyer, how do you perceive that?
Well, firstly, you brought a very good issue. Now, the first point we need to get, and a lot of people have misinterpreted and misunderstood the issues. Firstly, what Senator Natasha was saying is this, that on getting into the floor of the Senate, her seat was changed. Now, she is not contending and contesting the power of the Senate President to allocate seats, because that is contained in Order 2 of the standing rules of the Senate. That is not in question. That is a given. What she was saying and what she was insisting on was that her seat was changed without notice. And to see how important the issue of seats is in the Senate, it was contained in their standing rules that you cannot speak except from your seat. Now, when such thing as important as a seat of a senator, that is not a shrine, that is not, a playground. The floor of the Senate, that a senator's seat has been changed. It is incumbent, it is inherent that the Senate President, via the clerk, communicates to the affected senator about the change in the seat. So what she was saying was that I was not informed about my change of seat. I had no notice about that my seat was changed, and she was raising that point on that point of order. So the proper thing and the elementary thing and the fundamental thing to have done is for the Senate President to have had her then rule her out of order and say, oh, your seat was changed, we gave you notice. Maybe if you watched in the incident of Senator Saraki, in the 8th Senate or the 7th Senate, when Senator Saraki was Senate President, the same incident happened, and you will hear Senator Saraki telling Senator AKPABIO, I informed the clerk to inform you, because the proper thing to have done is that when the seat is changed, when the Senate President has the power to change, the clerk now informs the affected senator. So in this case, it was not done, and she was contesting why that change was done without prior notice to her. So it is not that she's challenging the Senate President, you don't have right to change my seat. No. And we felt that, and it is strongly believed that she had the right to be heard. Then you now explain the reason why, or you rule her out of order. But that was not done. And that was where the malice, and that was how she said, oh, this is malicious because you have made some sexual gestures to me, and I refuse. Maybe that is why this incident is happening. And so that is exactly what happened. Now, on the petition, the Senate committee looked at the petition and said, based on the rules, a senator should not sign a petition. Now, they misinterpret again that section. The idea is that a senator representing a constituency should not be the one to sign a petition coming from the constituency, because you are just a representative. It does not consider the issue of when the senator herself or himself is having an allegation against a fellow member of the Senate in the House. So if I have a personal grounds as a senator to my fellow senators, I don't expect my constituency to sign the petition of my allegation against a fellow member. So that section they read, under which they said a petition was dead on arrival, was a contemplation that for you to present a petition, the petition must come from your constituent, and that is to talk about your issue, about projects, about opinions, about anything coming from your constituency. It is expected that they sign and not you sign. But in a case where you have an allegation against a member of the Senate, it is the petitioner, which is in this case the senator herself, that has the right to sign that petition. And that is where they got it wrong, and that was how they declared wrongly that the petition was dead on arrival.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can see everything that actually transpired in this very video. You can see the way Yahaya Bello was actually disgraced, because this guy never knew that he can be disgraced in such a manner. Now, the question that a lot of people are asking is, what concerns Yahaya Bello with Natasha? Is Yahaya Bello still in power? Why is he concerned? Why is he so much concerned about Natasha? Do you remember that during the election, Yahaya Bello was in power? Odudu wasn't there. Then Yahaya Bello was in power as a KOGI state governor and all of that. And in course of the election, a day before the election of the senatorial district and all of that, that was the day that Natasha supposed to go to a polling unit to vote and all of that. That was the day of the election. Yahaya Bello break the road that leads to the constituency of Natasha, according to reports. You know, they say Yahaya Bello used caterpillar to break the road into two. Nothing happened to the road, according to what a lot of people are saying. They say Yahaya Bello said he wanted to do some kind of improvement on the road and all of that, and they left the road even after the election and all. And it was the same election that they tried to stop Natasha from, that Natasha actually won. And those are what happened. Those are where the beef were actually coming from. And now Natasha had issue with AKPABIO, and this same AKPABIO in question and Yahaya Bello, they in the same party. And these people are very good friends, they're very close and all of that. And according to Natasha, AKPABIO tried everything possible to suspend her, and she was suspended according to the report, even though they said the suspension is not constitutional, because she's not supposed to be suspended more than 14 days, but they suspended her for 6 months, which is not in the code of the House of Assembly, which is not constitutional according to a lot of legal practitioners. And now on the same vein, after the suspension, Natasha still not bow down, and after the suspension they asked Natasha to come and apologize in the House of Assembly so that she can call back to the house. But Natasha said over her dead body that she will never apologize to anyone based on the allegations of the gross misconduct and all of that. Those are what Natasha said, and she alleged that they want to sweep the matter of the harassment under carpet. But I said that is not enough. Natasha, the moment she landed in Nigeria, you hear things for yourself. The moment she landed in KOGI state from outside the country, because she went to blackmail AKPABIO outside Nigeria, and the news of AKPABIO is everywhere in the world of different countries. Everybody is posting about AKPABIO badly in different countries like UK, US, and all of that. And when Natasha arrived in Nigeria, Odudu actually said there should be no convoy movement, or there should be no political gathering or all of that in KOGI state at that very time. And whereas there is nothing like insecurity thing in KOGI state, according to what Natasha said, but Natasha flew to copter. You know what I'm talking about. And the moment she landed in KOGI state, she made the allegation on AKPABIO that she had an informant that is giving her information about every plan of AKPABIO, that AKPABIO is not aware. And this lady said it to the general public. She made it bold and clear without even providing an evidence. She said AKPABIO is trying to recall her, and AKPABIO tried to use Odudu, but it did not work. Odudu said the people are with her, the masses are with her, the KOGI central people are with her, that it will not be easy for her to be recalled as a senator. And that recall means they wanted to remove her permanently as a senator, because it was the vote of the people that actually put her in that office, and they wanted to use the vote of the people again according to the constitution to take her out of the office. And on the same vein, Ododo said he cannot do the recording. He told AKPABIO, according to what Natasha said, and AKPABIO have to call Yahaya Bello the lion, the white lion, or whatever they call Yahaya Bello, all of that, and Yahaya Bello take to it. And according to what Natasha said, Yahaya Bello collected money from AKPABIO. He assured AKPABIO that Natasha will be recalled, and that was where within 2 days they got 250,000 votes to recall Natasha. And the vote of the people that actually put Natasha in that power, in that senatorial seat, is just 54,073 votes according to report. Now, before Natasha could get that 54,073 votes, she had to campaign for many months, and after the campaign she only got 54,073 votes. With the way a lot of people actually turned out in 2023 election to vote for people and all of that, she only got 54,073 votes. Now, within 2 days, how did they get 250,000 people that actually voted against her, even after the video circulated and we saw some people in different rooms painting ballot papers and all of that, and painting it against Natasha Akpoti just to recall her? Nobody is actually investigating that according to report now. They're not investigating them. We do not know those people, and those are the people that were behind the fact that Natasha should be recalled and all of that. Now, the people of the constituency of Natasha, they're saying that they did not see anybody in their polling unit that is standing there to recall Natasha in course of the 2 days that they got 250,000 signatures to recall Natasha. They said they did not see anybody, they did not see bed in the polling unit where they're recording Natasha and enough. If they want to recall a senator, it will be done in a polling unit where they voted for her. Those are what is happening, but they never see anybody now. What kind of game is playing out? Those are the questions that Nigerians are actually asking. And Natasha further his allegation. He said since they tried to recall her and it didn't work, they said they trying to poof her. That AKPABIO and Yahaya Bello, they trying to poof her. Those are the people that she actually mentioned. You can see things for yourself. And it was few days that Natasha make an opera that her life is in danger and all of that. They trying to attack her and all of that. And it was few days after, a lot of people think it was a joke, another opera came out after a few days that Natasha family house was attacked by unknown gunmen and all of that. The gunmen are always unknown. There is Nigeria. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think it is Yahaya Bello and AKPABIO that is still working on this spoofing of Natasha and all of that? And that's the allegation that Natasha actually made. Who do you think is behind it? Drop a opinion in the comment section on this video. As I'm gonna head to get another channel for you and share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LaJUPOG TV and LaJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LaJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor for LaJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LaJUPOG Watch TV.